Welcome to PyGrad webinar on Python for Natural Language Processing. About our company, PyGrad. PyGrad is premium online institution for students seeking computer science career, especially in Python and its industrial applications. We provide complete Python academic solutions from beginners to advanced coders. Our methodology is focused around using academic math and physics to solve problems in Python, thereby creating an interest in students to learn programming. We believe proper programming skills have to be established in students' academics early in order to lay strong computer science foundation. We also help to develop AI projects using Python to help you succeed in college admissions. So, we are complete Python solution provider and hope you will find success with us. Highlights of today's session. There will be an introduction to Python programming language, and then we will move on to the introduction to natural language processing, and then we will have an overview of the applications of natural language processing. And finally, we will have a walkthrough to Core Course 1, which is Python Beginner, and we will have a sample program explanation for simple mathematical problems. Introduction to Python programming language. Python is an interpreted, high-level, general-purpose programming language. Its design philosophy emphasizes on code readability. Since it has high code readability, it is easy to learn, understand, and code. Python consistently ranks as one of the most popular programming languages because of its extensive library, because of its high code readability, which makes people to learn easily and understand easily and code it right away. Introduction to Natural Language Processing. As the name itself indicates, we are going to process the natural languages. So, Natural Language Processing, NLP, is an integration of computer science, linguistics, and machine learning. In natural language processing, there are two types of analysis. They are syntactic and semantic. Syntactic refers to the grammatical structure of the sentence, whereas semantic refers to the meaning of the sentence. Applications of natural language processing. Let's have a quick review of four main applications of NLP. First, voice assistant Siri and Alexa. It takes the input of the user as a voice command and performs the appropriate task. Language translator. A sentence from one language is converted into a sentence of prescribed or specified language. Sentiment analysis is used to understand the notion of a sentence, whether it gives a positive notion or whether it gives a negative notion, based on identifying the key words which attribute to the positive and negative notion. It is also used in speech recognition system for diagnosis like Parkinson's disease and dyslexia and so on, mainly for the neurodegenerative disorders. So the four main applications are voice assistants like Siri and Alexa, language translator like Google Translate, sentiment analysis wherein we have the overview of a movie review, like we have a score out of 10 which is obtained by the extraction of positive and negative notion by various written reviews. Speech recognition systems mainly for neurodegenerative disorders. This is the overview of our PyGrad courses. we have core courses, career programs, coding workshops, AP courses, and advanced courses. In core courses, we have 3 levels of programming: Python programming level 1, Python programming level 2, Python programming level 3. And in career programs, we have Python graduation program, CE Foundation Level 1, CE Foundation Advanced Level, Computer Science Foundation, Computer Science Advanced. In coding workshops, wherein we will try more than 15 challenging programs in coding workshop level 1 and coding workshop level 2. AP courses, we have STEM custom project, AP computer science, maths and statistics. And in advanced courses, we have AI and ML, game programming, image processing, robotics and natural language processing. These are the courses provided by our company PyGrad. Let's have a quick walkthrough to Core Course 1. Session 1 deals with Introduction to Python and Turtle. Session 2 deals with variables and data types. Session 3 will have a quick review on fundamentals, which has mathematics problem solving with programming. Session 4 to 8 deals with statements and loops. Session 4 on for loop. Session 5 on while loop. Session 6 on conditional statement if. Session 7 on conditional statement if else. Session 8 on conditional statement if, else if and else. And finally on session 9 we will have an integration of loops and conditional statements. Session 10 deals exclusively with functions. Session 11, it has an integration of functions with loops and conditional statements. And finally in session 12 we'll have a project development exclusively for game. In all the sessions we will be having programming practices, so there will be theory as well as hands-on in each session. Core Course 2 walkthrough. In session 1 we will be dealing with Python fundamentals like variables, loops and conditional statement. In session 2 we will be dealing with Python fundamentals on functions. In session 3, 4, 5 and 6 we will be dealing with exclusive data types like list, tuple, set and dictionary. Session 7 on errors and exception. Session 8 we will have a extensive review on real-time applications of Python programming. And session 9 and 10 is for project development. Project 1 on building prediction model using machine learning, and project 2 using cipher analysis using Python. Same here, at the end of each session we will be having programming practices. So there is a blend of theory and hands-on at each session. So the first Turtle program, there are 4 steps to be followed. Step 1, open the Trinket using the following URL, and then you have to import the Turtle library. Then you have to initialize the screen to a variable, and you have to provide Turtle direction instructions. So this is the Trinket code text editor page, wherein you can see the Turtle library has been imported using import keyword followed by the name of the library, Turtle. The second step is to initialize the screen to a variable. In Turtle library we have a function called getScreen. That has been initialized to a variable called yes, or we can say it has been assigned to a variable called yes using the assignment operator equal to. Now we have to initialize a variable to use throughout the program. So we are using a variable called tur. A variable should have alphabets from A to Z. It can be capital or small, and it can have numbers, and there is only one special character which is allowed, that is underscore. So we are initializing a variable which has to be used throughout in order to give the directions instruction. For that we have to call turtle function. So turtle, and from the turtle library. You have to move the turtle on the screen using this variable tur.right 90 degrees, forward 100 degrees, left 90 degrees, or backward 100 degrees. So based on that, the direction will move on. This is the output on the right side. So another program, we will see how to draw a shape. So we will see how to draw square. So square is a two-dimensional shape. It has four sides and all four angles are equal and all four sides are equal. These are the square properties. We are going to draw this using turtle. So same, we have to give the forward, right, left, backward instructions, but we should know for square we have to give equal angle instruction or side instruction. Here it is angle, because all sides and all angles of square are equal. So forward 100, right 90, then forward 100, right 90, forward 100, right 90, and forward 100. Once you give this instruction, a square is formed, as you can see on the right side where the output is displayed. So hello world, let's take this string hello world on the output screen. In order to display this string, we have to use print. So print function has to be used. Just give print, open the parenthesis, and in double quotes give the string hello world. Whatever is given in the double quotes, it gets printed as such in the print function. So as you can see, the output on the right side, hello world. You can give anything inside the double quotes like your name, place, etc. So let's solve a mathematical problem, addition of two numbers. 2 plus 3 is equal to 5, 1.5 plus 6.3 is equal to 7.8. So the workflow is number 1 and number 2. Two variables which has the values has been taken, and we have to apply the operator plus, and then we have to store it in a variable called sum, and we have to display the value inside the sum. So in Python code, an operator plus can be used to perform addition of two numbers. Number 1, number 2, sum are variables. Variables are the places where you can store values, and using variables we can perform the operations, and we can access the values from the variables. So as you can see, number 1, number 2 have given 2 and 3. Equal to is the assignment operator. So 2 gets stored in number 1. 3 gets stored in number 2. And using the addition operator, that is plus, number 1 plus number 2. So the value inside the number 1 and the value inside the variable number 2 gets added, and that value is stored in another variable, a new variable called sum. So I have to display the value which is present inside the variable sum. In that case, I have to give print without double quotes sum, because it specifies a variable. I need a value inside a variable. In that case, I have to give a print statement without double quotes. If I give with double quotes, then it just get printed as sum. I want the value inside the variable sum. In order to get that value which is residing inside the variable sum, I have to give it without double quotes. And you wanted any statement to be printed before the actual value, we can give it in double quotes like the sum is. As you can see the output on the right side, the sum is 5. Next we will see about the conditional statements. If the number is positive, we print an appropriate statements. For example, there are two cases, one with the positive number 3 and with the negative number -1. First, for the positive number, I have given to a variable num is equal to 3. Now I have to check whether it is positive or not. In order to check, we have to use if keyword. So if is a conditional statement. As the name itself indicates, if has to be followed by a condition, and the condition is the variable num has to be greater than 0, because our main purpose of the program is to check whether the number is positive or not. In order to check, we have to formulate a condition which has to come after the keyword if. So if num is greater than 0 colon, you have to follow the indentation and then give print. Print the num as such and tell it is a positive number. And then tell print this is always printed. This is just a static statement. You can have it or don't have it. Next, num is equal to -1. I'm checking for a negative number. So the same condition can be used. If num is greater than 0, then you have to print num is a positive number. Suppose this condition fails. What happens? This print statements get printed. That is print this is also always printed. Suppose the if condition is cleared and passed, then the inside print statement with the indentation is printed on the output screen. Otherwise, the print which is outside the if statement gets printed. So as you can see, the first case num is equal to 3 is a positive number. So the if condition gets passed and whatever statement is present inside the if statement gets printed. This is always printed. 3 is a positive number. And as you can see, num is equal to -1. The inside statement doesn't get printed. Like -1 is a positive number, you cannot find here. Whereas you can find this is also always printed, which is outside the if loop. So that is the difference between the two cases. So as you saw in the core course 2, there is a specific or special Python data type which is list, tuple, set and dictionary. Here I have given a sample of set. So we are going to create a set which has a list in it. So list has a square brackets with a set of numbers, and set is a function. This I have initialized or assigned to a variable set underscore number. Now I have to find the maximum number present inside the set and the minimum number present inside the set. So I have to use the variable set underscore number because that holds the set. So find maximum value. I have to print the maximum number is, then print I'm using max function to find the maximum value. I'm using max function on set numbers, set underscore numbers. That is a variable which hold the set. Then print the minimum number is, we have to find the minimum number. For that I am using min function which holds the min function on set underscore number which holds the set. So this has to get printed, so I am using print function. So as you can see on output on the right side, the maximum number is 20, the minimum number is 2. So why PyGrad? With PyGrad, you can start your journey into developing into a fantastic programmer today. We take utmost care of your future. We make sure you are ready for the real-world applications of Python with our diversity in courses as I have already shown you pertain to Python. Sign up with us today. We get you ready for all USC universities so that you can have a more bright future. Thank you so much for watching. Regards from PyGrad team.